Matthew freaking Brading. We are done with January and off to the races of 2026. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm all right. Been busy. You just got back from a job recently, or just a few minutes ago. It's been busy lately, thank God, because man, it was the slowest start to the year that I can remember. But things are picking up now and looking pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited about 2026, man.
Dude, we love to hear it. And guys, today we are talking about something really, really interesting because when work's a little bit slow, sometimes it's good to have a side gig. And for some of y'all, home inspections is the side gig. We talked a little bit about this on TikTok. There were some comments on this, Matt, going back and forth about can you do home inspections full time? Can you do it part time? And there's a lot of people that do home inspections on the side. And I actually worked with one back in the day who was a firefighter for the city of Baltimore, racking up a nice career there, racking up a pretty good pension for his retirement, and then was also a home inspector in his spare time and did a really great job with that. So we have a firefighter joining the show today.
That's right. That's right. So last week we had, or whenever it aired, we had Christina Green. The last episode, we had Christina Greenfield on the show, and we talked all about the importance of a healthy home, which was great. And people are loving that episode. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But today we're more talking about safety hazards in relation to fire hazards and things like that. Because as an active firefighter with the Beaumont Fire Department, Rhyan Miller, you have seen a lot of things in the field that I imagine, have give you a different perspective on things as a home inspector, being a home inspector and a firefighter. So, first of all, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you. It's a
And
pleasure to
and
be
so
here.
for people that don't know, the name of your company is First in Inspections.
Yep, first in
So,
inspections.
give us just a quick idea of the name there. I mean, obviously, it's a play on
Yeah,
first responder, I believe, but yeah, how did that come about?
it's a play on the firefighting aspect. They call when you go to a fire and you're the first engine that gets there. You are the first in engine, and you see everything firsthand, and you give the report back to the other people that's coming in, so everybody knows what to do when they get there. So, this kind of goes hand in hand with the home inspection. I'm the first person in there, and I'm the boots on the ground for the buyer, and I'm telling them what's going on in there so they know what to do.
That's fantastic, man. Now, we're glad you joined the show because there is some crossover, right? When it comes to understanding a structure from the perspective of a firefighter and then understanding a structure from the perspective of a home inspector. So, we kind of want to pick your brain about how one informs the other and how both can help you be better at both. But before we do that, guys, we do have to do our drink of the day. Matt, we didn't sip on anything last week because it's dry January, or for us, drier
It
January.
it was like a dry portion of January for me.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Like there's a couple weeks maybe that we've towed the line on this.
My
So
best.
I've got a drink for today that fits with drier January. But go first, man. What are you
Oh,
sipping on?
well, mine does not fit with drier January. I just went straight in, man. It's been a little while. I'm having a whiskey neat. I'm having a bourbon neat. This is a cool bottle, okay? I mean, it's a cool bottle, and it like literally is a cool looking bottle, right?
It
This is
really
called
is.
New Riff. This is their single barrel bourbon. It's only about $50. It's a relatively new bourbon on the market. Sits at about 111 proof. And so it's pretty stout. Um, it's a nice drink though. It's a good bottle. So for a good price. So
I gotta check that
cheers.
out, man. Yeah. Cheers to you on that, Ryan. What are you sipping on?
We are keeping it healthy, trying to get into that gym a little bit more, so, less on the bourbon, but I got a nice little blueberry ginger kombucha over here,
There
and
you
that's what I'm
go.
sipping.
It's
It's got a
good
little
for the
alcohol
gut.
content, maybe like
Yeah,
point
it's
Yeah,
zero
got
yeah.
that
zero
little.
0.004,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
You know how that would be good
Hmm.
with some bourbon in it. Just kidding. Just
Leave
kidding.
it to this.
No,
And
I respect that. I respect that.
If
I,
ask
I
me,
haven't
guys,
had a drink in a minute, so this is you know
hey, cheers
I'm
for
well
I'm
well
really
deserved, I think.
I'm really doing my best to be healthy, to up my water intake, to stay hydrated because I've been hitting the gym hard too, seeing some good results. And it is drier January, so I I have right here ranch water because it's water,
It's
right? Like
hydrating. Yeah.
this counts, right? It's only 80 calories. It's only 4%. It's
And
Absolutely.
before you guys go knocking me, I want you to know, like, this is mostly water too.
Yeah.
There's an
Yeah.
awful lot of water that goes in the
Aged
bourbon
water.
process.
That's it.
Distilling, it's all about water. If
The
it
only
wasn't for the
water that's
water, we
not in
wouldn't have
there
it.
is the only water
Mhm.
that's not in there is the angel share, you know? That's
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. But I feel like it says water, so, you know,
Gotta be hydrating.
yeah, that's it. So cheers to y'all. Cheers to y'all
Cheers.
watching. And guys,
Cheers.
let's jump into it. So, Ryan, right off the bat, you've already told us about the name, First In Inspections, but what made you want to be a home inspector? Which came first, the firefighter or the home inspector? And what was your thought process in integrating both?
All right. So definitely the firefighter came first. I was a young kid getting out of school. I didn't really have any ideas as to what I really wanted to do. So school was just like this big puzzle to figure out. And I always knew I was a real physical person, like hands-on kind of guy. So I heard about firefighting and I heard how much they paid. I mean, it wasn't a crap ton of money, but it was still more than what I know were getting paid at the time. So I was like, let me try it out. I went to the academy. I loved it, absolutely loved it, and I've been doing it for 15 years now.
Wow. Well,
Um,
thank you for your service as a
Yeah,
firefighter. That's a really important thing, man. We need you guys out there. I know it's a dangerous job, so I definitely appreciate that.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, like, I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but I mean, I got to know, like, in specifics,
Mhm.
how has being a firefighter like changed how you would go about being a home inspector?
Man, so with being a fire, I've seen so many house fires and like the ways that they start and all this stuff like that. So it definitely makes me go into home inspection with a fire safety kind of mindset. So I go in there and I'm looking at the dryer vents, I'm looking at the electrical components of the home a lot more closely. I wouldn't say more than the average inspector because everybody has to have some kind of sense of, safety when it comes to doing the inspection side. But I see more firsthand of what can happen if it isn't right. So I'm extremely diligent when it comes to looking at things like that now because of being a fireman.
Like
Uh,
electrical and like dryer vents. I feel like you had a video a long time ago because you used to post quite a few videos. I miss your
hmm
videos, man. That's actually how me and Ryan know each other. Is just through social media. We're pretty close to the same area, right? I mean,
hmm
aren't you living in Houston too
Yeah,
now?
I'm like Midtown. I'm like
Okay,
Midtown. You're
so
up north, right?
so yeah, I'm up north in Spring. But there, I think when we first kind of started chatting, you were, I think, living down there in Beaumont or something like that. And
I was in
but
Baytown.
oh, Baytown, that's right,
Yep,
that's
yep.
right.
I was
Yeah,
in
I've seen a
Baytown.
ton of business in Baytown. I still
Yep.
continue to do
You
that,
do. You
even when
do.
even before I realized that you moved, but I still do anyway.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, so we met each other through social media, and I would see some of these videos that you would post. You were good at it, man. It was good stuff. But I remember specifically, and what was intriguing to me, and kind of what I wanted to bring to the show was, you know, the fact that you have shown videos of things that happen as a direct result of things we inspect,
hmm
such as a clogged dryer vent. And I think there was one in particular that you had that showed a house fire that happened because of a clogged dryer
Yeah.
vent. Am I mistaken?
No, you're absolutely right. It was one that it completely ate up a whole side of the house, ripped it wide open. It was unlivable. Um, and I guess we need to be more aware, like what's those? The knob and tube electrical systems. We
Yeah.
sometimes run across those as inspectors. It's not
Yes.
often, but we do, and I've seen so many fires with those. Not
Wow.
so much in the attic space too, which is kind of a scary thing. They're usually in the wall cavity.
Yeah. Well, you can't
Those,
even see them.
yep, can't even see what's going on back there. So, um, for sure.
nice, especially in places that have older homes. I had the pleasure of seeing a renovated house. Gosh, this thing was almost 100 years old now in East Nashville. The builder, he was a drummer here in the city. I don't even know which band he was with, but just took to flipping properties around here. And this was one of those where they actually did it right. Where you could see that the old knob and tube was there, but it was abandoned. It was, correctly removed. You see the new Romex that was properly run. it was one of those where it's like, okay, you have these little hints at the history of the home, but it's at least it wasn't this mess where you see people trying to jumble three different generations of wiring together in one junction box that shouldn't be there. So it was cool to see. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm definitely wondering, man. So with home inspections, you said firefighting came first. What led you to home inspections, and what made you realize that this was going to be a great complementary side career?
So, I was buying my first house
Uh,
and, got an inspector to come over. He did the inspection, and then after he left, just felt like I could find more things in this house. I started going through the house, man, just looking for stuff, and I'm finding stuff as we live there, over the years, and I'm like, "How did he not see?" So it just got me, like, ate up inside. I wanted to know everything there was to know about it, and I just deep dove into it, and eventually came out actually doing it. It was like, I wanna do this for people because I want them to be informed just how I wanted to be informed when I bought my first
right.
house. So,
Nice.
yeah,
So
Good
we,
on you, man.
and we touched on like how being a firefighter has had an effect on you as a home inspector. But has there been any effect there, like the other way around, like on the flip side, like being a home inspector, and how does that affect you being a firefighter?
absolutely. So we see all kind of different problems all the time, like buzzing electrical panels and arcing wires underneath the house, and grounding rods being red hot because they're getting so much current through them. And before I was a home inspector, I had no idea what any of that stuff was doing, or why I was doing what it was doing, or
Just
how
go to the
to.
fire, put it out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's just go to the fire, put it out. Building construction, I'm talking about like how load is transferred from the roof into the foundation. And I had no idea how any of that worked. But now being an inspector and knowing the science behind these things actually improves my firefighter knowledge, because I'm like, I know where to be and where not to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I know
Yeah.
where a
that's
heavier fire load would be.
You probably got the rest of the team that's looking at you now going, "Hey, so can you explain why this happened over here?" Like, you probably know, right? Are you like the expert in the room now?
I feel like an expert with certain things. There's still plenty of people way above me, you know what I mean?
that's
But
the home inspector thing, though. We
yeah.
all feel
Yeah.
like we're experts, right? It's funny though. I never saw that coming. I was excited to talk to you today because obviously, like the two things together seem to complement one another. Like Brad has said a few times here. I think that that's obvious, but to me, I go straight to like safety hazards, like fire hazards and electrical hazards and things like that. Things that could cause a fire. But I never thought about, and I mean, you just went right there about the structural aspect of it, like knowing knowing more about load paths and how that can help you as a firefighter. Like you said, knowing where to be and where not to be.
Mhm.
That's actually huge, and that didn't cross my mind. I didn't know we were going to talk about that today, but I think that's huge, and I can see how that really played a role, and how you probably know a lot more about that now after your training as a home inspector than you did before when you were just a firefighter. Now, when in Texas at least, we have to be licensed, and if you're in a trade for a certain period of time, it can lessen the amount of training that you have to acquire your license.
Mhm.
How does being a firefighter have any effect on you getting licensed? I didn't think so.
Negative. It's just
They don't
I didn't
care
engineering. I
think
about
think it's
so.
yeah.
just
I mean, it seems
engineering.
like there's a lot of boots on the ground training going on when you're firefighting.
It
That
should
that
be.
seems
It
like it
should be
should lend
though.
itself a little bit.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
how long have you been licensed as a home inspector?
About 4 years now.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
somehow I thought it was longer than that. Just
Yep.
because it feels like I've known you for a long time.
I know, man. It's been a while. That's a genuine friendship there, you know?
That's
That's
cool.
right. That's
Dude,
right.
I can't imagine though, like when I go places, I still you can't shut the home inspector brain off, right? Like I was up in Cincinnati shooting a video for Porch recently, and I walked outside this downtown, 100+ year old buildings, and you can see the structural tensioning devices that are in the exterior. Those stars that you see
Mhm.
on the brick wall on the outside. That's basically those are rods going through the center of the building that's tying the framing together to keep things from bowing out and falling apart. But anyway, I can't shut my brain off sometimes when I'm looking around different places to the point that like friends around me are like, dude, shut up. Like, well, nobody cares right now.
I,
But
I've been told many times, stop inspecting my house.
that's it. Yeah. See, I was at my friend's house last night, and I'm like, you could have maybe cut the deck boards a little more square over here. But okay, at
Du
least you save some money doing it
Dude,
yourself.
you think you
But
got that bad? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you think you got that bad? I have to go to patient's house every day, like, it's not just your friends or your family, it's like everybody that calls 911, we go there to their homes,
yeah,
and so every time I'm like, it's almost like I gotta tune myself back in 'cause I'm supposed to be there for the patient, but I'm looking at their roof, I'm like, "That's a lifted
right. Yeah, that's
shingle,
what I'm
that's
wondering.
a
It's got
How
to
do
be a
you even
double
live here?
whammy for
yeah."
you,
I'm
man.
like,
Like,
"What
because
is
you're
going
looking for
on?"
fire safety, you're looking at structure, I mean, you're just constantly on alert, aren't you, when you go places like that?
Mhm.
But
Uh-huh.
So
Absolutely.
how does this like come to play? Like whenever you're doing like the wrap up with the clients, like knowing what you know about what can happen with some of these things. How do you? Because a lot of our job is delivering this information to the buyer, right? Not necessarily in a report fashion, but sometimes in a verbal fashion. Now, how does like your knowledge of this stuff affect how you like are dealing with clients on a verbal basis and like what's going in your report? Like, are you putting like extra emphasis on things just because of what you've seen? How is it that you balance that without being like some type of alarmist?
I think the best practice is just to shoot it straight, you know? Shoot it straight down the middle, give the people the facts, and then let them decide on what they are willing to do and what they're willing not to do. Um, as far as like big hazards like burglar bars, we're talking about Zinsco panels, stuff like that that are known fire hazards. I let them know why it's a hazard. I don't just say this is a hazard, like you might need to get that looked at. Like, no, listen, man, this panel it's like this. They want to replace because the breakers don't trip, and if they don't trip, it can heat up and cause a fire. I just want you to know, understand that, and I just
And
go
then you're
from
like,
there.
"Here's what's gonna come down first when
Yeah.
it does ignite." Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That can
No,
you
my
imagine that? Like, so this is gonna start a fire, and that's gonna affect this load bearing member right up here. And when that falls, then there I can see it going down a whole
you
rabbit
don't
hole.
wanna be standing over here,
no. I don't
That's
go that
funny.
far in there. I don't go that far in there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
what I was gonna ask next, man. It's like, do realtors trust you more when you point this stuff out? Or like, does being the firefighter downplay the deal killer kind of a vibe? Or like, does it buy you more respect? How's that work?
I'm glad somebody else knows the phrase deal killer because it's like I thought I was the only one that knew that phrase. Well, I'm like, I'm not trying to be a deal killer. I'm just telling people what it is. I really don't even think that phrase should exist. You know what I mean? It's like
Amen.
we are here to give the people what's wrong with the home. We're here to give them the facts. We give them the facts. As long as you do it in like, I get there's some inspectors that really sometimes don't know how big of an issue something is, and they may blow it out of proportion. I get that guy. He needs to be educated. Need to educate himself some more on the subject matter. But for people that are experiencing shooting people how it is, and I don't think that should be an issue for
No.
yeah,
anybody.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, like, I kind of think it's fun. I think the whole deal killer thing's funny. We had Due South Brad on a couple episodes ago.
Fun
He's
times.
his license plate says deal killer. Yeah, he just lays into it, which I think is kind of funny too.
That's perfect.
But the fact of the matter is that I can't remember who said this. I mean, many of us have probably said it at some point, but you know, the home inspector doesn't kill a deal; the house kills a deal. I
That's
think
it.
there's a lot of truth in that because, like, it's what's wrong with the house. I do think that the delivery of information, which I mean, when people ask me, what they can do to be a better inspector, or what tips I have for them. I really a lot of times try to focus on improve the way you're delivering this information because, it is important to deliver the information in a way and not everybody takes it the same. Like you gotta read people a little bit and figure out how
Absolutely.
they're gonna be because I've talked to some people before about, a hazard that was kind of out of their realm of knowledge. Maybe it's an electrical thing or something. They're like, is that bad? And I'm like, well, I mean, it's not great. This needs to get done. And then I've talked to some people about, well, you've got some missing sealant around some of your windows. And they go, what are we
Yes,
going to do about that? Like, who fixes that? It's like, whoa, I mean, like, hey, hold
It's
on. Like,
just
that's not really that big of a deal. And so,
absolutely.
you got to kind of read the room a little bit and see who you're talking to. But I think, it is important, like, to not go out of our way to scare people. I'm not wearing a chip on my shoulder. I just want to give you the facts and I want to shoot you straight and answer any questions that you have about, these issues. I think there are some blatant things, like you said, and I feel like you kind of probably drive this home even more so than I do. But like, there's some things that are just a straight up hazard. There's some
mm,
things that you almost feel like you're going to go like, this is going to start a fire. Like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you don't get this handled, there's trouble around the corner. There's some things that go there, but that's very few items. And I mean,
Very
it's not
few.
to downplay things that are wrong with houses, but I think like we got to deal with people's concern level and everything because it's okay. Somebody said I can't remember who it was that said it's not the home inspector that kills houses. It's the house. But the truth is, I think it's the buyers themselves. Actually, it's everybody. It's the understanding of information between the buyer, the real estate agent representing them, the home inspector, and then just the issues that the house presents. And so, I mean, I think it's a combination of all of that stuff. But I
but
mean,
all
yeah,
you can
I think
do.
we get called deal killers a lot. I don't think it's quite fair.
I gotta. This isn't patting myself on the back, but I've maybe had, I would say 2 or 3 people tops in, gosh, 14 years of doing this who, said or alluded to the fact that I killed the deal, and I a lot of that, the reason for that high success rate and never hearing that, implied about myself is
Mhm.
simply because it's like I went out of my way, the one thing that we can control is how we communicate stuff, and I went out of my way to make sure that I communicated things well and in a way that was, like, not inspiring fear, and don't downplay things that don't need to be downplayed. Don't
Right.
upplay things that don't need to be upplayed. But Ryan, let's actually talk about that. What are some things as a firefighter that you see realtors and home buyers kind of downplay that are major safety issues? And how do you go about communicating that to both?
Burglar bars, burglar bars, burglar bars. It's just like
Ooh, okay.
those are some huge safety issues. Key
Like we're talking about
deadbolts.
in terms of egress, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Egress and us getting ingress.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. So I get like some people live in some neighborhoods, they're pretty rough. Um, so you kind of got to pick your poison there. But if it were me, I would rather choose none on my windows whatsoever. Um, and
Well, you
then
get
of
insurance for a reason.
absolutely, absolutely. And then the dry vents, of course, those things clog up. That's one of the bigger things that happen around. But a lot of the times fires are really caused by, human error or faulty appliances even. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff that gets put in the home after we inspect it. So it's like y'all putting in all these DIY projects and stuff like that. It really will, if you don't know what you're doing, you can set it up improperly. And, I just caution against stuff like that. Um,
Matt, that kind of circles back to some stuff that Christina was saying last week, which was essentially when it comes to, in her case, clean homes, one of the biggest factors and maybe the most critical factor is the homeowner themselves in
Yeah.
terms of the overall cleanliness and how a house stays clean and healthy. But same thing here when it comes to safety and removal of fire hazards or prevention of fire hazards, it all comes down to who's in the house.
mhm.
You were talking about the dryer vent, and I know this is one of those hot topics, man. I go back to it a lot because I mean, obviously, like from your experience, and not you've seen it. You've seen the problems, and that's always one thing that we as it's kind of one of those things where I think that the general public overlooks it as being a hazard, and as inspectors, we're kind of honed in on this. The thing is, you know, I do a lot of new, and you probably do too, do a lot of new construction inspections where they leave a screen on the dryer vent. This is
Mhm.
a big problem. And I remember one recently, and this is something that I really feel like needs to be addressed here. Recently, well, I did a 11-month warranty probably a few months ago on a house. A year prior, I did the final inspection on that house, and when I was on the roof, I found a screen on the dryer vent. Now, there's a couple of different schools of, remove the screen when you find it or leave it and report on it, and I'm more of a like a blanket across the board most of the time. I'll leave things away, I'll find it and report on it, period. And especially, like, this new construction stuff, it's their responsibility. I do that because I want them to know that that was left that way so that they can send somebody up there to correct it so that maybe that problem won't happen again. And so in this case, I found a screen on it, I reported it, and, because the screen can just pop right out, right? But I left it, I reported on it, told the buyer about it, and, I mean, I didn't, like, make it seem like a huge problem, like, "Hey, this is gonna catch fire," but I was like, "Hey, they left a screen on there, the dryer does not need a screen, it can collect lint, it's gonna affect the performance of your machine, it can be a fire hazard." Like I said, it probably just like that, right?
Hmm.
And then, of course, there was a lot of emphasis put on in the report. Go back a year later, they had me come back a year later, do the warranty inspection. I go up on the roof, and that screen's still there, and it's filled with lint now. And I'm like, "All right, well, clearly the builder's not gonna remove it, so I'm gonna just do it." And so I grabbed a pair of pliers, I pulled it out, and I took the screen and all of that lint that was in the screen inside and showed her. Told her the whole story about how I found it last time, and they didn't remove it. And she looked at me, and she clearly was not very happy. She was like, she wasn't vocal about it, but she
Hmm.
clearly was not very happy with what I was telling her. And it wasn't in a way where she was mad at the builder. So I was like, "Okay, what's up?" Like, what's going on here?" And
Told
she
her
goes,
husband to
"Well,
do it.
the builder told me that that was supposed to be there. That was code required.
Wow.
That it was code required for a screen to be on the dryer vent."
Wow.
Even though the vent itself literally is labeled "remove screen for dryer," which, even if the code said it was supposed to be there, the device saying "remove
Oh
screen"
no.
You go
takes
with the
that right
device,
out of the
man.
picture.
Go with the manufacturer instructions.
But the builder, instead of sending somebody out there to take it, they left them in a situation that could have been a fire hazardous situation
Absolutely.
by just convincing them that it was up to code. I showed her the lint. I gave her the screen. I was like, "Well, you're welcome. I can go put it back if you want me to. I really don't want to." She told me to leave it like that. But anyway, yeah, that's the builder convincing somebody that it was okay. Can you believe that?
That is.
Actually, I think we probably all can. That's the
Yeah, I
beauty
mean, we've
of
all
it,
seen it, right?
I don't want to believe it. That's the I don't want to
I
believe
didn't
that
want to
that's the
believe it either.
case. That's crazy, man.
And if
I
I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, 1 year apart, 11 months apart, I mean, I just knew that that was gonna be taken care of. I couldn't believe it when I saw it there, full of
I wonder
lint
who'd
after
be
1 year.
Mm,
wonder who would be liable for that, Ryan. Like if say the it did ignite, right? And the either the insurance adjuster goes back out there or firefighter finds the source that there was a screen covering the dryer vent. Um, if the homeowner looks at it and goes, "I was told to leave it there despite my inspector," like who's to blame in a situation like that?
man, I'd have to say
I
the
mean, I
builder.
really think it goes to the builder.
It cannot be anybody's blame but the builder at that point. But the problem with that is, I don't know if you ever seen a fire investigator do their job. It's probably one of the most difficult jobs there can ever be.
I can imagine.
Like, imagine a house burnt to a crisp. And
Yeah.
it's like you got wood and burnt things everywhere. You have to figure out where it started from, and like look at damage patterns and stuff like that. What do you do when there's so much damage? It's so extensive. It's hard to come back and say whose fault it is because you
Yeah.
really don't know.
Did
And
you kind of
Yeah.
look
sometimes,
at both of those careers and just go, "Let's inspect the house while they're still standing. Let's do that." Like
yes.
Do you, I mean, you're not in fire investigation, but I mean, like, has being a home inspector led you to, kind of theorize as to where some of these starting points are sometimes? Or are you just focused on, "Let's get this fire out"?
I'm 9 times out of 10 just trying to go home, you know? Let's let's get this fire out, let's knock this out, save any lives that we can, and let's get out of there. Now, it is intriguing to look at the property after a fire has occurred just
Yeah.
because it's been when I say it's hot, it gets crazy hot. So and it gets crazy hot like that for a long time, and it's amazing to see how some of these structures still stand up after a fire. You would imagine that you would think as a regular person, it would collapse pretty quick, but it really doesn't. Like a home can withstand a lot of punishment, especially like the Joyce and Perlin style homes. You know what I mean? Start getting into
Mhm.
those trusses and stuff like that. Of course, those gussets can fail, um, but yeah.
What's the most dangerous fire situation you've been in?
Oh my gosh. This happened recently. It was a downtown fire in Beaumont. Um, get there probably like the second on scene. It's a high rise building, fully involved. It's going crazy. You got fire coming out of everywhere, smoke coming out of everywhere. Uh, well, actually, it's just smoke coming out of everywhere at this point. But you know it's a fire by how the smoke's puffing out of the doors and the
Sure.
windows. Um, so I get fully dressed up and geared up. I'm talking about this thing like 12 stories high, and they send me up to the fourth floor. You got to climb up the ladder. We got a big 36-foot extension ladder. Go up there, get up on this ledge. The ledge is like this wide. The ledge is like this wide. The window is probably like 4 feet from where we got up on. So you have to like inch your way against the wall up into this window. And my captain, he was like, "All right, now bust the window open," because they had it was a piece of plywood in the window. Like, so I took the big tool from him, and I'm standing on that little ledge, mind you, and I gotta beat this window in. I finally get that in, and you step inside of this place, and it's like you can't see this in front of you. So it's like,
Jeez.
like, if you're not scared at that point, like, you know this building's on fire, this huge building. We know 9/11, God rest their souls. Um, and that's all you can think about in that instance. So I'm like, I was panicking a little bit, but I stayed in the heat. But um, yeah, we didn't really do much that fire. It was kind of a lost cause. That's a big building. Anyway,
Well, at least you made it out, man. Dang.
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I gotta ask what's going on with that. Is that a disposal?
Yes, my knee keeps hitting the disposal.
I let it go. I let it
I'm
go like
dropping.
3 times.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that sound. I mean, I'm a home inspector. I know the sound. I don't know if he's testing me. Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
I love it when
Dude.
natural stuff just happens.
Oh, last week, I mean, it was the dog knocking the camera over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, this week we got it. Yeah,
Yeah, garbage
all kinds of
disposal.
stuff, man. And we don't cut hardly anything out of this show. So
Man, I say
just
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 go
life
at it,
going
you
on
know?
around us.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
hey,
too
man.
much production value takes away from it, in my opinion.
That's it. We're
So,
here
absolutely.
for the
hey,
human element.
like, I obviously, I know you, firefighter, home inspector. When I was, training at Champion School of Real Estate, there was a couple firefighters in my class,
I know you asked me.
great guys. Brad, you said you knew a firefighter and,
Yeah, yep.
home inspector. It's obviously something that I mean, clearly they complement each other, but something that firefighters tend to gravitate to that because obviously you guys do shift work, right? And so I guess that leaves you some time to do inspections in between there with your free time. Um, is this something that you would suggest to firefighters, or I mean, it's hard to suggest to a home inspector to become a firefighter. That's a completely different
Right, right, right.
situation. But I
Exactly.
mean, is it something like if a firefighter was looking for something to do, some work to do in between shifts, is it something you would suggest to them, or is it like, hey, I built this thing, several years ago, but man, it's actually kind of tough. It was costly, I love doing it, but I don't know if I'd suggest it to others. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like if you're getting into it for the wrong reasons, I wouldn't suggest it.
Sure.
And those reasons are just to be a quick money grab, you know.
Yeah,
If you have a genuine passion for it, you find yourself studying and you're studying one topic and then you rabbit hole into another. If you're that kind of person, then I think this would be a good field for you to get into, especially if you have a keen eye and you're diligent with your work. is perfect for you to get into because not only are you helping save lives outside of work, you're literally you can say your work here could save a life. Um, but you're also learning more about what we do as firemen, a little more in depth, and that's never a bad thing. It's never
Yeah,
a bad
that's
thing.
great. I love the fact that you're like, hey, it's a fantastic thing if you want to, if you're passionate about it.
Yep.
Hmm.
If you're not passionate about it, probably not the road for you because, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it being with the rate that you get to do inspections, and especially in the beginning with all the tools and the training that you had to pay for. Like this wasn't profitable for a while for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it kinda sucked in the beginning, but it wasn't as bad as some other things, though. Like, I've gotten to videography. Me and, Brad were talking earlier, videography and photography. You talk about some expensive camera gear and
Oh,
cameras and lenses, it gets
and
crazy.
everybody wants to
Yeah.
pay you $50 for a shoot.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was
Like,
about to say,
"No,
yes.
yeah.
how's the
Hey, how about
profitability
this?
going with that?
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
want 1,000 pictures. Come shoot my wedding, and we'll give you a couple $100. How's that sound?"
Yeah,
Like, "Oh,
exactly.
okay." And all of them edited. "Oh,
Yeah,
wow, okay.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
sure, sure
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, how about it?" "Oh,
$25? You
with
go.
my $3,500 camera. Let's go."
Yep.
Walking
In
around with
addition,
5 grand worth of equipment at a time on you, and here's 50, buddy.
Yep, yep,
in
exactly.
addition to you guys both having that in common, Ryan is also a musician. I haven't seen any of your stuff in a while. Have you posted anything in a while?
I haven't, man. I just been really
Hey, get
focusing
on
on
that.
work, man. I really do, man. I can't let it go to waste. Now, you guys do music too, as well?
Yes.
I
Well,
I wouldn't
I,
call
I've
it music, but I have a bass that I play now and then. Yeah.
I'm sure it's great.
I've been a guitar player for 30 plus years. I haven't really been active at it in a while, but I'm getting back into it. My son picked it up back in the summer, and it's like there's like a raging fire inside me now. Like, and there ain't no putting it out. Like
Yeah.
I gotta just go. And so we've been playing guitar together. I've been teaching him stuff, and I've been kind of considering like rejoining like the music scene, which is,
Acoustic or electric?
I didn't know if that's
What
ever
you
gonna
want?
happen again.
Dude, he's got a nice, pretty new acoustic, man.
Acoustic. That's what I'm talking about.
I got all kinds of guitars, man. Just one of them behind me right now, but
If I could
I got a problem.
if I could play, I'd be famous already, man. I'm telling you. If
Dude,
I know how to play an
being in
instrument, it's
Nashville
on.
I just enjoy watching everybody else,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's cool. Dude, I wanna jump back in, speaking of side things and side gigs and, one of the mentioned it at the top of the show, one of the things that was kind of, sparking a little bit of commentary was a video that we posted where, we were talking about how if you really wanna go gangbusters with inspections, you gotta lean in full time on it, but again, not everybody has that flexibility or, ability at all just because of their main thing, right?
Mhm,
You've got 5 years left probably if you're gonna retire with a 20-year pension, from the fire department.
mhm.
So, yeah, you don't wanna stop right now. You got 5 more years that you gotta see out here,
Absolutely.
and then you can maybe transition full time. But how do you juggle that workload? How do you, balance, turning down jobs when they come in, but you're on the clock? Um, and kind of what's your idea for growing this going forward? Bunch of questions, but
It
answer them as you go.
absolutely. I think that the balance is kinda it's a delicate one, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Of course, there's firefighting, that's kinda just concrete, it's just set in stone. Well, you know what you're gonna do, you know the days you're gonna work. Of course, there's always an overtime variable, but it's nothing that you can't turn down. As far as the home inspections go, it is so flexible to work around my schedule. I can put things where I want them to be. If I want to inspect at 7 in the morning, I go inspect at 7. If I want to do 10 or later in the afternoon, I can go do that. So I think they marry perfectly. As far as the business aspect of it, you get what you put in, right? So it really takes putting feet on the ground and getting that clientele for inspections. And especially when you first start off, right? So it's kind of hard to do that if you're not like full time in it. You know what I mean? It's you kind of I'm putting less work in than what you guys put in. So my fast times aren't as fast as y'all's, but also my slow times are even slower, so it's like
Sure.
that's the kind of trade-off with that. I'm not making probably not making near what you guys are making, but it's an add-on to what I'm already making as a fireman. So it's not nothing,
Right.
it's not my first job.
I mean, I can see you like once you get past the hump of like I say, all the expense to get started,
Hmm.
um, then you know like you said, it can be like ancillary income. I
Exactly.
think that there's a couple of things that when we talk about people doing this part time that I kind of discourage. It's it's for a couple of reasons, but I think your situation and what you do as a full time job is uh, lends itself very well to it. The reason why is because number one, you being a firefighter is a really good selling point.
Yes.
I mean, if you're uh, just if you're a car salesman and you're and you're looking to get into home inspection as a side gig, you know, I don't think that's great, right?
Right.
Like that's not a selling point whatsoever. It's like people in the military. That's a really good selling point,
Hmm.
like a veteran owned company. This is firefighter owned company. I mean,
An
that's a good selling
architect or
point.
something like that. Yeah.
And so there's a
Mm,
little bit of built-in marketing there
yeah.
with folks that are starting a company that don't have that to lean on. They have to lean on just more traditional styles of marketing, which can be costly. And you're putting time and effort and money into marketing. And then when you get the calls, you may not be able to take them because you're not available. And that's one thing. Also, I feel like the experience you get better the more homes that you see. And when you're working part time, you're going to see less homes. They're going to come in less frequently because you're doing it part time, but they're going to come in less frequently because you can't really adhere to the hustle and bustle of the real estate market. And so they're going to come in a little bit slower, and your experience is going to come a little bit slower. Where I think that being a firefighter plays an intricate role in that is you already kind of have a little bit you have some underlying knowledge whether you want to admit it or not or kind of maybe you don't even know it, but I feel like you have some underlying knowledge about homes and about safety hazards and a lot of the things that we already look for is some things that you already had there. So you're bringing some experience to the table. That's why I asked about your firefighter experience, whether or not that played a role in your education to get licensed, because I feel like without a doubt, you're bringing some experience to the table that
Yeah, man.
isn't something that a lot of people have.
I think absolutely, but I think it's like one of those things. Like you look in the mirror every day, it's like, am I still fat today? Or am I getting skinny? Is this gym thing working?
I am.
Because
Yeah.
it's it's like I like you said, I guess it's some things I don't realize I'm bringing to the table with me from
Right.
the fire department into this because it's just in me. So you know,
Yeah,
It's,
I could see that, man, but you definitely deserve more credit.
100%. And one of the things I was just talking with one of the executives at the company about this, just kind of things that we want to help new inspectors to understand. And one of the things is when you're marketing a brand new business and you've just opened shop, you're like, how do I get that first 30 inspections, right? Like I
mhm,
used to do 30 to 40 a month at my peak, but how do you even get 30 period? For some of these guys, they don't know how. And it's like you have to have a value prop that when people ask, why do we need to use you? You're brand new. I've got my guy that I was using. Why you? Very few people know how to answer that. And when you can just say, well, I put out fires and see homes in their best and worst situations at all, for both my day job and my side job, they immediately just go, huh. Okay, yeah, let's get this guy in. Also, tell me if this place is gonna burn down and fall on my head.
Yeah.
It's great, man. It's so marketable for sure. But,
absolutely.
educationally, how would you recommend that the average home inspector learn to think more like a first responder? Like, what are some things that they need to be looking out for when they enter the house and as they're going through?
I say it's really already set for the home inspectors. Like everything that we look at as firemen, because we're looking at it when it's happening. Like it's already happened. Whatever happened has happened,
Yeah,
and now we're focused on it. But as a home inspector, you're going in with nothing's happened yet. It's almost like that new house going into a brand new house and inspecting it for the first time. It's like it's really, you really have to pay attention to problems that could occur versus the
Right.
problems that are already there. So I guess like maybe maybe like looking at some video of different things happening, like different safety hazards occurring, like the fires and stuff like that, electrical fires, all kind of things like that are online. We live in a age where everything's accessible here to you on this YouTube, and any Google, whatever you want to do. But
That's dangerous though.
it is. But you can see the damage that you wouldn't see if you know you weren't there. So
Sure.
not
Sure.
everybody's about to pop up and go to a house fire and see what's going on in there like I can. But
Hey, let me
Home
tell you,
inspectors just
I'm
start
going the
showing
other
up.
way if there's a house fire. Like that's the difference. Like you're going to it, I'm going the other way.
You got
Absolutely.
ambulance chasers, now you're gonna have inspectors showing up going, "I just wanna see what happens because Ryan told me
Yeah.
to." Like,
Hey, Ryan did not say that.
"Can I go in and shadow?" No.
Oh man, yeah, that is something. Yeah, a ride along on
On
the
the fire
to a
truck.
call. Like I don't think so.
That
I
would
don't
be
think so.
interesting just to sit back and watch. Just don't get anywhere involved, but just to
Absolutely.
observe. But,
It
yeah,
sounds like
no,
a
that
highly stressful situation. I don't know, man.
It's not
no,
that
I hear
bad,
that.
man. Once you get trained for it, it's not that bad. It's not as stressful as you think.
No, you gotta keep cool sense of pressure. Now, do you have plans to grow the business once you do retire as a firefighter or go full-time with it then?
I'm kind of going back and forth between two things. Of course, the photography and the inspection company. I love inspections. I love going and doing that, but I also really, really love photography too. Man. I can't lie to you. Um, I know the inspections, it brings the most income in as far as the two, but so I really don't know. They're both kind of floating up there. I love them both, so I'm just going to continue to do them both until I pick a path to further either one of them.
I mean, I feel
Like
like
no
you
life.
could definitely do both.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think you could definitely do both of those things. I mean, I
I'm
feel like I don't know. I feel like it's got to be harder to be a home inspector and a firefighter than it is to be a photographer and a firefighter. I
I
don't
got
know.
I got to give up something. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't want to give up my running and all that stuff too. Like all that stuff take time, man. I
See,
don't
you're like me. You've got too many hobbies,
too
man.
many, too many. I'm the jack of all
no,
trades, master of none.
it's not a bad
I'm
thing,
not going to
man.
go with master of none.
Yeah.
There's a few
No,
things
Master
I'm pretty
master of
damn good
some.
at.
Master of
Yeah,
some.
master of some. Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
Ryan Miller and I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Brady, and I'm good at a few things. Just all
a,
right,
a couple
small
Yeah.
things.
things.
Couple
Yeah.
things.
Just a bunch of average dudes here on this show. I love it, man. We
Hey,
speak for the everyman.
hey, if a guy say he can kind of, I can kind of fight. Don't fight that guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Just
that's
downplay it.
right.
Yeah, he's gonna downplay it.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
love
there's
it.
certain areas where sandbagging, I guess, would actually be
Hmm.
appropriate.
Dude, I hear that.
Okay.
Well, man, what is one big takeaway that you would want inspectors and homeowners to both understand, to both look out for, and know, kind of coming from both of your worlds as a home inspector and a firefighter?
um, I'd probably say, just to take things seriously. It kind of touches on more what we're talking about, but just take things serious. Like um, if somebody tells you that it's hazardous in an area, you know what I mean? Like you just take what they're talking about in a serious manner. Like you don't want to be. Uh, we're trying to inform you. We're trying to inform you as an inspector. Just I don't know what I'm saying right now. Hold on.
You're good, man.
I got
No,
lost
dude,
in the question.
That's a
I'm
tough
like,
question.
you were
No,
like,
I
I was
mean,
like, what?
legit,
Hold
it's a
up,
tough
hold up,
question,
man.
right?
if
That
we
was
tell
rough.
you something, listen to it. Is kind of what
Yeah,
you're
I'm
saying.
like, what
Yeah.
is what? What
Like
did
we're
you
not
ask
telling you
again?
just to flap our gums here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get it. Like
Yeah.
especially like I mean, when we're talking about fire hazards, electrical safety, stuff like that. I mean, like when you're saying it for a reason. You and doing the fact that you've seen the other side of things.
Hmm.
It's coming from like, hey, not only do I did I read in a book or did an instructor tell me that this is a problem, but I've seen what happens when the problem occurs.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like that's what you're trying to say. I'm picking what you're laying down, man.
Hmm. I
Definitely.
appreciate it. Pick it up.
You guys, I gotta give a shout out real quick to Sashko, my friends at Sashko. and their movement to normalize going to trade school. Okay. I mean, it's great. I love it. Kids, you want to go to college, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer. Fantastic. That's fantastic. I love it. But it's not for everybody, right? It wasn't for me. And obviously, I'm not in a trade so much, but I mean, I did go to, I get trained to do home inspection. That's what I do. But we are lacking people in the trades, and the old guys that know all the old guys and gals that know all the stuff and how to do it all right, they're retiring, and there's not nearly as many people to replace them with any level of knowledge or care. We need people that want to work with their hands, that want to get into trade schools and want to learn how to make some money that way. And let me tell you, you can go to college and study something and come out of college, and you may or you may not get a job in the field of everything that you studied, but you can go to trade school and you can work. You can learn
And you're
how to
not
be a
gonna be
plumber.
replaced
You
by
can learn how to be
AI.
HVAC, and this stuff is not going away. We need people that are good, and the better you are, the more you make.
No, it's
Firefighters are trade
100%,
school.
man. Yeah, I've actually got a young lady that's doing her home inspection training right now. I split the Internachi fee with her. 23-year-old young lady that's in between careers, and we were on a mission trip down in Mexico, and she was down there with her dad, and she was like, "So what do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, it's been an interesting 14 years. I've kind of worn a lot of hats over my lifetime, but in the home inspection space now." She's like, "What's that do?" And I'm like, "I can teach you if you want to learn," because I learned how to do this at a crossroads where someone went, "Hey, you could actually do the things that you're passionate about, manage your schedule in a way that has flexibility to do those things and pursue those interests, and also make a living wage so that you could put a roof over your own head." And I went, huh. And so I explained things to her, and she's like, "I'm all in. Let's learn." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll split that fee with you. If you don't finish the Internachi course within 2 months, you owe me the second half back." She goes, "Oh, okay." And and this is somebody that I would love to see kind of take my LLC and manage it here in the state of Tennessee, so I can build it back up in Florida at some point. But it's such a good career for people that are either at a crossroads career wise, or Ryan, in your case, want something that's kind of an ancillary gig, or again, Matt, like you're talking about, if you just want to learn a trade so that you have something that's not going anywhere,
Right.
because it's not. I mean, your AI is producing tools and providing tools that are helping to make our jobs easier and better informed, but at the same time, it's not replacing us, man.
Nope. Grandma ain't calling AI to come fix her plumbing
At
drain
all.
leak.
That's
Okay,
it.
At
that
all.
ain't happening. Your AC goes out, AI ain't fixing that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
These people, we need tradesmen to come do that stuff. We are always going to need tradesmen to come do that stuff. It's one of those things that just doesn't go out of style. I just think
It
for the
doesn't,
longest
man.
time now, we've focused an awful lot on, go to school. I get it. We want the best for our kids. And you know what? Being in the trades, it's not easy. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you it's easy, but I don't know about you guys. There ain't nothing ever really been that easy for me. I mean, like I work really hard at home inspection. Okay,
Absolutely.
I really enjoy it. I get a lot out of that. But I mean, yeah, you take the path of being a tradesman. It's not necessarily going to be an easy path, but it's very gratifying.
Got to choose your hard, man. That's it.
That's right.
So, dude, Ryan, thank you so much for being here today, man. This has been an awesome talk with you. I wish you all the best in your inspection and firefighting careers, and we'd love to get you back on the show sometime, dude.
Absolutely. Just don't ask me that last question you asked me ever again, and I'll be back.
You did great. You
We
nailed it,
good.
man.
And
We
take
good.
us out with one more disposal.
That was it. That was it. Uh,
There we go. There it is.
perfect.
Right
Perfect.
on.
Oh,
Oh,
love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you here next time, better than ever, right here on.
The ride along.
You got it.